The Indianapolis Colts didn't just win another game, they delivered a statement that shook the entire AFC. Nobody expected them to destroy the Tennessee Titans again. Not like this, not with the same ruthless rhythm that's now become their trademark. 38-14 wasn't just a score, it was a warning shot to every contender watching. For the third straight year, the Colts have swept Tennessee. And what's even crazier is how effortless it looked. Every drive felt like they were rewriting their own history, proving that what people once called a rebuild might actually be a reign. Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor didn't just lead a victory, they led a transformation. Jones looked unshaken, delivering lasers across the field like a quarterback who's finally found peace inside the chaos. Taylor, meanwhile, ran with a kind of confidence that made every defender second-guess their pursuit. This wasn't about luck or schedule strength anymore, it was about control. The Colts didn't play with their food, they devoured it. Every possession was sharp, every call from the sideline hit at the perfect time. And every fan in Lucas Oil Stadium could feel something building, something bigger than just another win. What nobody's talking about is how this dominance has shifted the balance of power inside the AFC. With a 7-1 record and the best point differential in football, the Colts aren't sneaking up on anyone anymore. They're demanding respect in a conference ruled by names like Mahomes and Allen. And while the spotlight burns brightest on the superstars out west, the quiet storm in Indianapolis keeps growing louder. Because this isn't a lucky run, it's a pattern. And the next part of this story might just reveal why this offense has become one of the most unstoppable forces in the league. But before we get into that, hit that like and subscribe button for more Colts and all the NFL content. Let's aim for 200 likes on this video. Nobody expected the Indianapolis Colts to look this complete this soon, yet the pattern keeps growing stronger. Drives stack, tempo rises, and confidence spreads across the roster. The result is not just winning, it is control. Opponents feel the pressure early, then watch the gap widen as the game moves along. This is not a hot week. It is a clear identity that shows up under bright lights and in routine moments. The numbers tell the story without needing hype. The offense produced 420 yards and 38 points, while finishing 3 of 4 in the red zone. Third downs landed at 3 of 9, which is the clean fix still on the table. Here is the part that hints at something deeper. No single receiver hit 100 yards, yet the ball kept finding open hands and the chains kept moving. Variety is the engine, and the line gives the backs room to punish. But here's the twist that leads us forward. The system only looks this smooth because the quarterback keeps the picture calm. Trust on third and long quick eyes to the check down and smart shots when the window is real. That is where the story turns next, because Daniel Jones is not just filing a role, he is shaping the standard for how this attack breathes and strikes. The Indianapolis Colts needed a steady hand, and Daniel Jones gave them command from the first whistle. He took the early shots, kept his eyes clear, and then started carving up space with calm throws. By the final horn, the box score told a sharp story: 21 of 29, 272 yards, 3 touchdowns, 136 rating, and 0 turnovers. He has only had giveaways in 2 games all season, and that restraint is now the heartbeat of this offense. What changed the tone was his courage on key downs. On 3rd and 13, he ripped a 50-yard strike to Alec Pierce, a call that says the staff trusts him to hunt, not just survive. He layered the ball to every area: quick outlets when the rush closed in, firm throws in the intermediate lanes, and timely shots outside the numbers. The efficiency was not empty, it came with bite. A 9.4 yards per attempt clip and a completion rate near 72%. Even the short pop pass to Jonathan Taylor in the red zone showed timing and a feel for pace that freezes defenders for a split second. Here is why that matters for what comes next. Jones forces safeties to hold their depth, which lightens the box and gives Jonathan Taylor a cleaner runway. The passing threat tilts the field, the ground game punishes the tilt, and the cycle breaks defenses before they adjust. Keep that picture in mind because the next chapter is the surge that has turned Taylor into a weekly headline and a real MVP voice, with runs that change games the moment the ball touches his hands. The Indianapolis Colts felt the whole stadium tilt the moment Jonathan Taylor touched the ball. One cut and the Titans were on their heels. Then the roar hit like a wave. His day told a simple truth. When Taylor is in rhythm, the game bends to him. The shock came fast after halftime when he exploded for an 80-yard run that broke the plan and the mood at the same time. The full line reads like a headline. 12 carries for 153 yards, 2 rushing touchdowns, plus 2 catches for 21 yards, and a third score through the air. That is power with speed and control. The wild part is the pattern. He now has 3 straight meetings against Tennessee with 3 or more touchdowns, a run that puts him in rare company. It is not a hot streak, it is a standard. Every time he hits the crease, defenders hesitate for a blink, and that blink is the gap. Here is the twist that raises the ceiling. Taylor's threat forces lighter boxes, which opens clean lanes, and the line is clearing space with real force. Safeties sit deeper to guard the breakout, and that changes how routes develop for the receivers. Keep that thought in mind, because next up is how Michael Pittman Jr., Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, and the tight ends feed off those looks while the line turns small openings into long gains. The Indianapolis Colts kept Tennessee guessing because everyone mattered on every snap. Michael Pittman Jr. won tough catches and turned traffic into yards, finishing with 8 for 95 and a score that lifted the crowd. Alec Pierce stretched the field with the 50-yard blast on 3rd and long, the kind of shot that flips leverage for the rest of the night. Josh Downs kept drives alive with clean routes and timely finishes, while Tyler Warren worked the seams and posted 4 for 53 to punish soft spots. The shock is how simple the formula looks when the line is clearing paths. Tanner Bortolini locked the middle, Quentin Nelson set a tone with power, and Bernard Raymond sealed edges so backs could hit daylight. Jonathan Taylor did the damage, but the lanes were real and repeatable. Even on a day with 3 sacks, protection settled, spacing held, and the ball kept moving to fresh hands. No single target needed 100 yards because the defense never knew where the next cut or throw would land. Here is what that balance creates for the bigger picture. Safeties play honest, corners cannot jump routes, and time of possession tilts while the scoreboard climbs. That puts the defense in a perfect spot to attack with a cushion and hunt moments instead of chasing them. Keep watching the field flip, because now we move to a unit that bent in yards yet took the ball and closed the door when it mattered most. The Indianapolis Colts defense lived in the stress and still owned the moment. Tennessee finished with 14 points and 341 yards, but the door stayed locked when it mattered. The turning point came in the end zone when Chris Lamons grabbed the ball and kept the season streak alive with a takeaway in every game. That single play cooled the stadium for Tennessee and told the whole story. You can move the ball in spots, but you will not finish the drive. Pressure rose from the inside and kept the pocket noisy. DeForest Buckner found the quarterback at the right time. Adetomiwa Adibawore and Neville Gallimore added sacks, and Kenny Moore with Laiatulatu split another. Cam Ward felt it all day with repeated hits that rushed throws and forced safe reads. The edge rotation was lighter without Tyquan Lewis and Samson Ebukam, yet the front held together and won key downs with effort and timing. Runs to the outside went nowhere because the angles were clean. Zaire Franklin and Jermaine Pratt flowed to the edge, Kwity Paye set the line, and Grover Stewart closed the middle. Cam Bynum delivered a timely breakup that stalled a push and flipped the mood. This unit may give up space at times, but the finish is sharp, the red zone is stingy, and the ball finds Colts' hands. Keep that picture in mind because the next chapter shifts from the field to the front office and a decision that could shape how this window stays open. The Indianapolis Colts might have made their biggest play before kickoff. Word inside the building points to long-term plans with Daniel Jones, and that signals trust in the leader who steadied this offense. It is not about a headline today. It is about a locker room message. Keep the core together. Keep the identity clear. Keep the arrow rising. The roster clock supports that choice. Veterans like Zaire Franklin, Grover Stewart, DeForest Buckner, Michael Pittman Jr., and Quentin Nelson form a strong spine. Young pillars like Josh Downs, Alec Pierce, Tanner Bordellini, and Laiatu Latu give the group fresh energy. A multi-year commitment to Jones lines up with that mix. It protects the system that turned tight games into clear wins and lets the front office add pieces without scrambling at quarterback. Here is why this could shape the stretch run. Stability at quarterback keeps the playbook wide, gives the line a plan, and helps the defense by controlling pace and field position. But the work is not finished. Third downs can climb, early pressure must drop, and depth has to hold as the schedule toughens. That is where we go next. The cleanups that can turn a hot start into a lasting run and a road ahead that will test every part of this build. The path gets real now for the Indianapolis Colts. Pittsburgh brings a tough crowd and a proud front that will test poise on every snap. Then comes the overseas trip, the pause, and a visit to Arrowhead where small mistakes turn into big swings. This is the stretch that turns a strong start into a real case for January control. Fast openings, smart finishes, and calm clocks will decide how far this rise can go. The fixes are clear and within reach. Money downs need sharper spacing and quicker answers, not hero shots, just clean choices that move the sticks. Trim the early hits on the quarterback by leaning on rhythm throws and hard counts that slow the rush. Keep the red zone plan varied, the pop touch, the inside zone, the crossers, all with the same pace that froze defenders against Tennessee. On defense, rotate with purpose so the interior keeps its punch while edge help returns to full speed. Now picture the next 3 steps. A road fight in Pittsburgh to prove composure, a showcase game in Germany to carry the brand, and a measuring night at Arrowhead to test timing against a champion. If the Colts raise their floor on those small details, the ceiling takes care of itself. The question is simple, and it pulls us forward. Can this offense stay precise under louder lights? And can this defense keep taking the ball when the field tilts the other way?